Ice Cube. Starting July 10th on CBS, Thriller, and Fight TV. That's right, every Saturday. Bring the fire with the big three, baby. Yeah, yeah.
If you will. Top 5 that you ever
Top
worked
5
with in comic view history.
I'm gonna tell you, man. Tony Roberts is one of the funniest comedians. Mike Epps, Cedric the Entertainer, Cat Williams, and Mr. Kevin Hart.
That's your top 5 of all time. That's not top 5 comic view, right?
Yeah, that's comic view all times.
Okay.
Ooh. Do you think that the Kings of Comedy should have evolved in, like, every few years, maybe like had a new list of King of Comedies? How do you feel about that? And the
I think it should have been another set of Kings of Comedy. I think it should. I think they should have did that, and I would love to be one of the Kings of Comedy, because I really enjoyed the Kings of Comedy when they was out. And big up to Steve Harvey and Cedric Entertainer DL, my main man, and rest in peace to my main man Bernie Mac.
Yes.
Tell you a quick story about Bernie Mac.
Yep.
I met Bernie 1990, 89, 90. He was on fire, and I opened up for him one time in Macon, Georgia, and the dude who else was supposed to open up for him did show up. So the promoter called me and said, "Man, I need you down here." It's like an hour from Atlanta, and I got down there and I opened up. And Bernie Mac asked me, he said, "Who is this brother, Bruce?" And he said, "Because he's funny." And I met Bernie Mac. He came down. He destroyed it. I mean, he destroyed it, man. I did a great job for him, and I worked with him one more time. I only worked with him 2 times in my whole life. And Bernie Mac was the truth, man. He was the truth. He was the truth on the Kings of Comedy. He was the truth in real life, and he was just a true husband and a true father. I knew that about him. So much respect to Bernie Mac.
Absolutely. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. The GOAT conversation, you brought up a lot when it calls about the GOAT of comic view and the GOAT. We hear that a lot. That word gets thrown around very loosely in 2021. Do you consider yourself the GOAT of comic view? And in your opinion, does that word GOAT get thrown around too loosely?
Oh no, man! Don't get too loosely. I feel I am, man. Comic View did well for me. I did well for Comic View.
Yeah.
And like I said again, I'm gonna say this again. If it come back and they need a good host, I do.
Do you think the top, I will say the top comedians are the funniest comedians, or the most popular comedians are the funniest comedians nowadays? I don't think that is
No, they're not the funniest comedians. No.
Okay.
You're saying the top comedians that are on top right now, are they the funniest
Popular,
comedians?
yeah, like
No.
the most popular, right? Okay.
No, they're not. It's comedians out here will shut them down. You know what I mean? I think Tommy Davidson is one of the funniest dudes I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Tommy Davidson he's quick, he's witty, he's brilliant. His timing is impeccable, and he's just funny, man. He was even funny on The Living Color, but his stand-up is 10 times better. So no, if you think the comedians that are on top right now, the funniest one anywhere, they're not. There's some comedians down below will set ablaze to their jacket, brother.
We had Tommy Davidson on here. He called himself the Mike Jordan of comedy, and he wasn't afraid to say it.
Oh yeah, I agree with him.
Wasn't afraid to say it. Talk about today's new era of comedy. Is it the same as when it was when you got into the game? It seems like as time has evolved and as social media has evolved, so has the new comic. And I find myself tending to go toward the old school comedians than I do some of the newer. That's no disrespect to them, because some of them are funny in their own right. But talk about that, the new generation of comics. Are they the same? Do they pay the same homage? How are they around?
No. They're not the same. See, back in the day when I was doing comedy, and I'm still doing comedy, but, back in the day, comedians said things that you had to hear. It wasn't that you could see. Back in the day, when your parents and grandparents were listening to Richard Pryor, Red Fox, and Bill Cosby, it was albums out. It wasn't any videos. It's stuff that you sit and listen to and laugh. And now the new comedians doing stuff that you have to see because they act out a lot of things, which is good. But I think if I had social media 35 years ago, I have 1,250 billion followers. You know what I mean? Because social media, I mean, it's great, and the new generation works it like it ain't nothing, and they do a great job. And I can't bash them. So you know what I'm gonna do? I joined.
Yeah.
There you go. What do you feel about? How do you feel about, I should say, cancel culture and everybody being now so oversensitive, especially like if a comedian makes a joke and offends the wrong person? How do you feel how that has evolved over time?
Well,
And do
you know, comedians, we're gonna make joke out of anything. And I think I know where you're going with this.
Mhm.
And are you talking about like gays and stuff like that?
And any
Yeah, yeah,
offended group,
and
yeah.
a lot of them will get mad, and but you know, you, I let them know you are who you are, and if you're proud of who you are, nothing should offend you about it. You understand what I'm saying? Um, I have no problems out of gays, anything. I have a lot that come to my show, and they cool, and they laugh. You know, I call them sweet pickles. You know what I'm saying? Hey, sweet pickles, hello. But you know, nothing against or nothing. I won't do anything to disrespect or bash or you know, insult their intelligence or nothing like that. No, no, no. But I think that they need to calm down and don't be so sensitive and just take the joke and keep it moving.
Couldn't agree more. Just to play devil's advocate for a second, though, do you think that
Yeah.
do you think there's a limit to jokes? Do you think that there is a joke that could go too far? Or you think everything's no holds bar? I personally, in my opinion, think that I appreciate no holds bar because you can find comedy in anything, even the dark. But
Yeah, you can find comedy in anything, but it depends on what the joke is. If it's a joke and you telling a story, it can never go too far. But if you're bashing someone in the audience
gotcha,
and you making a joke out of them, yes, you can take that too far.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So what's next for Bruce and your brand, man? What do you got coming up that you want to
Well,
tell?
you know, I want everybody to look out for my new CD and DVD 2022. 2022. I'm writing a very good show for that, and I'm gonna come out with it, and I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna do a cartoon version as well, and of the stand up show, and I'm gonna do a stand up show, and I'm gonna do an album as well, and I got a few movies up under my belt this year. I'm getting ready to do. I'm playing a preacher, a funny preacher, and my thing is now, man, is doing more TV and more movies I can because stand up is my life,
Yeah.
and I'll forever do that for the rest of my life. But more TV and more movies.
Seem like one of the hardest working men in show business. You went from working 5 shows in every day for 5 days straight, 25 shows a week, and you ain't slowed down yet, brother. So
Oh no, man, I love it, man.
that's what I was going to ask you. My final question would be what keeps it just is so youthful and young and so just positive and keep you going.
Hey, man, you know I enjoy what I do. That's what you got. You got to enjoy. When I used to strip, when I was a stripper, look, man. You know, my stage name was Hard Candy. Okay, I was getting money, man. No, I'm joking. No, you just got to love what you do, and just appreciate what you do, and just thank God that you have the strength to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because anything can happen now, but right now, man, I'm on the wave and I'm going to ride it to the end.
Appreciate you.
The comedian Bruce on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, man. We definitely appreciate you taking this, 30 minutes with us today. Go ahead, please drop your social media handles, emails, anywhere you want people to contact you, please.
Okay, my social media, my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at my Bruce. That's at MY Bruce. And send me some stuff, man. Tell me if you like me, if you don't like me. If you don't like me, let me know so I can fix it. I want to make it right.
Hey, man, we appreciate you. I doubt you're going to hear too much of that, man. Bruce, the OG, the GOAT comic view on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Appreciate you,
it, brother.